Honorable Joy Irobi is the Director General of the Brigi Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and she would introduce our guest speaker from Ambazonia, Sheikh Kavi.
Before I introduce our Ambazonia guest speaker, who is representing the Ambazonia Governing Council, specifically their leader, Dr. Chua Ayaba, I want to tell us a little bit about our alliance. Now, if you remember, last year, 2023, in Helsinki, we already had the Ambazonia and Biafra Defense Treaty, and this was signed in person by Dr. Chua Ayaba with our Prime Minister. And that is how we declared the Biafra Ambazonia Helsinki Declaration of 2023. Now, what was the main goal of this alliance? For us to work together, for us to combine armed forces, for us to have one purpose and one purpose only: the freedom of the Ambazonian and the Biafran people. Now, also, December last year, there was a press conference held by both leaders. And in this press conference, they were able to establish the creation of the Ambazonia Biafra Council of International Affairs and Economic Council. Now, this council, we were charged to do various tasks. Number one, we were charged to start the awareness on international crisis groups, calling on African Union to put the Southern Cameroonian War and the Biafran Nigerian War on their 2024 agenda. Now, the council was also charged with lobbying against businesses that undermine the sovereignty of Biafra and Ambazonia and the ownership of our resources. One of the things that was very important, I remember, because Dr. Chua Ayaba also mentioned this to me, he said that we have to start working on the refugee situation of our nations. That our citizens, that we have to devise strategy to take a hard stand on Nigeria and Cameroon regarding the kidnapping of our citizens. Now, this council also were charged, and this is something that we will start doing more in the future, to create discussion panel focusing on creating awareness between the Ambazonia and the Biafrans, that to join forces together. And I'm talking about just the normal Ambazonian, normal Biafrans, to have conversation, create awareness, focusing on how are we going to deal with defense allowances, like we are now hearing about the taxes, diplomacy alliances, and economic alliances. Now, I do not want to take a lot of time. I would like to call upon Honorable Sheikh Kavi. He is the defense chairman of the Ambazonia Governing Council. I would like to say one or two words. Sheikh Kavi is the barefoot soldier. He is the founding father of the Ambazonia Governing Council and the Ambazonia Defense Forces, Ambazonia representative of the Biafran Alliance. Now, the Deputy Defense Chairman of the Ambazonia Defense Forces and the Special Advisor of the President and Supervisor of the Ambazonia Alliance is here to represent Dr. Chua Ayaba, which we all know is being detained just like our PM. Please, great Biafrans, I would like us to give a loud round of applause to Honorable Sheikh Kavi, Ambazonia Governing Council.
Can sit down, please. Thank you so much. Thanks for that honor, and thanks for the reminder, Dr. Joy. Like I was saying, it's a pleasure for me to be here this evening and to address a crowd as big as this one. This is what we call defiance. This is a very strong message to Finland. So with this mammoth crowd, Finland should be shaking. Those who are behind Finland should be shaking. Today you have shown Finland, Norway, and all the other hypocrites in Europe who think that arresting our leaders is democracy or it is human right, that they are ashamed. Finland, Norway are a disgrace to Europe. I am always very raw. I don't sugarcoat my words. You cannot detain an ideology. It is only somebody who needs a screwdriver to rescrew the knots on his or her head that will think that they can arrest an ideology, put in a bucket and lock it. You cannot shoot an ideology with a gun. You cannot destroy it. You cannot do nothing. When you see somebody running to the toilet and something distracts that person, know that that person doesn't have enough pressure. When you have enough pressure, you kick everything that is on the road. Yesterday, I was surprised that the people of Biafra have that pressure of somebody with a running stomach. I was arriving here, ladies and gentlemen, with the anxiety that this declaration of independence will happen in my very before. I was surprised that it happened yesterday. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This showed that the pressure that we have for the toilet is the same pressure we have for this independence. Nothing, even Finland, could stop us. They arrested Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Did it stop us? They arrested Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba. Did it stop us? Now they stupidly went again for His Excellency Simon Ekwa. Has it stopped us? Yet we declared. The president of the Amazonia Governing Council, as you all know, is incarcerated in Norway under the same gymnastics that are happening here in Finland. We all know what they are looking for. They are afraid of this present African generation. They are afraid of this present African youth because they are enjoying the economic, let me say the economic autopilot that they have instilled in Africa with our forefathers. So the wealth they receive from Africa is on autopilot. That's why you see our African presidents are all shaking and they don't care because the money keeps coming. But this Mazi, Simon, Mazi Nnamdi, and Dr. Cho Lucas Nikwa generation is a no-nonsense generation. They are afraid we are going to shake it. We have a message for them. They are too late. This generation of Amazonian youth and Biafran youth are a no-nonsense generation. This is a stop generation. This is a generation that will trample on anything that wants to stop prosperity. We are all here because we want to bequeath a better future to our children than the nonsense we inherited. We are here because we want to do something to our children that is different from what our forefathers didn't do for us. We are not here because we love guns and we like to fight. We are here because it's the only way for us to stay alive. Ladies and gentlemen, the Vice President of the Ambazonian Governing Council was supposed to be here, but because of a cold, he couldn't make it. But he's aware I'm stealing the show. When a man is born, he is taught and encouraged to creep. Then he is taught and encouraged to walk. Then a man is sent to the pre-nursery and nursery school for self-discovery. When you discover yourself, you are sent to primary school for further self-discovery. And the first step of that further self-discovery is how to read and write your own name. When you are able to read and write your own name, you have attained the first step of self-discovery. Then you start discovering that this is my mother, that is my father. My mother is different from my neighbor's mother. My father is different from my neighbor's father. This is my compound. This is our village. This is our city. This is our town. This is my country. When you arrive the level where you say, this is my country, you have reached the PhD level of discovery. The highest state of discovery is knowing your country. No matter how much money you have, if you don't have a country you can call your own, you are like a king without a stool. In Ambazonia, the stool is what makes the king, but I think in Biafra land it is the crown. So however it may be, if you have so much money, billions of dollars or pounds somewhere, and you don't have a country that you can be proud of, you are like a king without a crown. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come of age, we are now matured, we now know our country, but there is a problem. Let me use the case of Biafra. The crown of our country is on the head of a foreigner. In the case of Ambazonia, the person sitting on the stool in Ambazonia is a foreigner, poking us on our nostrils. We cannot breathe. They wear our crown, rape our children, rape our economy, turn us to slaves, turn our mothers into girls, turn our fathers into boys, and cause all kinds of calamity that cannot be done to mankind, putting us on our crown and sitting on our stool. We are crying and shouting. Finland is not listening. It's not because they don't see it, they see it, but they have other interest. We are shouting and demonstrating all over the world. I remember we demonstrated in Brussels, Ambazonia and Biafran demonstration, the 2 million man march in Brussels. Who listened? Nobody. But they are fast as picking us up, picking human rights activists up. It is the same Europe who watched South Africa, the white people in South Africa turning black people into semi-humans. They use black people to train their dogs and cats. Like I said, when it comes to the freedom of Africa and African people, I'm a dog that is difficult to be tamed. Because at least someone needs to face these guys eyeballs to eyeballs. I am a soldier. I call myself the barefoot soldier. Man lives today, and tomorrow he is no more. Something must kill a man. So, as South Africa used the black people to train their dogs, you all watch on TV how they were doing all of these things. This same Europe was watching and saying nothing. When Nelson Mandela, the great Namzi Nelson Mandela, stood up to say enough is enough, they caught him, put him to prison, and called him what? a terrorist. Same people who were watching how blacks were being killed called him a terrorist. And I quote Margaret Thatcher, called him a terrorist. When South Africa was free, it is the same people who were calling Nelson Mandela His Excellency. Hypocrites. I bet you not long from now, His Excellency will appear. When your back is on the wall, there is one thing you should do: move forward. Moving forward is facing your enemy eyeballs to eyeballs. Moving forward is using the same stick that the enemy is using to beat you with. If the enemy is using an AK, use an AK. If the enemy is using an RPG, use an RPG. The right to defend yourself is an inalienable right, and no one should take it away from you. No matter how much they arrest or do what, never bow to them, because we are free. Akanchawa, it is written. The Amazonian Governing Council asked me to tell you people that before you signed the Declaration of Independence, they had already signed it for you. You know, Amazonia declared her independence sometime in 1999 when Justice Elubede Ebong, Chief Ayamba, and a host of others seized Radio Boya and declared the independence of Amazonia. But we had one mistake. And that mistake is something that my president, Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, told His Excellency Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, my brother, don't make the mistake we made in 1999. Independence must be defended. Don't declare independence if you don't have an army to back you up. You only can create a government when you have an army that will be protecting the people who are coming out to honor the activities that the government is putting in place. If you put a government without the defense first, you are taking the second step before the first. And today, we are here. The Biafran government in exile, I cannot say that I am proud of you. I am flying with you. The zoo thought that we were just that surface of the ocean. We are dragging them down to see what we really have. Only a man who is smoking something I don't want to smoke will not differentiate the difference between a river and an ocean. Amazonia, sorry I use Amazonia too much because it's something I've been talking about. Biafra is an ocean, same like Amazonia. The Biafran people are too rich, not only economically, but too rich mentally, that they should not be enslaved by people lesser than them. The Biafrans should not be slaves to cattle railers. It should not happen. That is the reason we are here today. Concerning the Biafra-Amazonia relations, I can bet you and I can tell you we are in a very good foot because we are inseparable. Nothing can separate us. We go together like dynamites. We want to make sure that, as Biafra declared yesterday, if they commission their men and they're looking at their 12:15, Ambazonia should be there covering their back at their 12:45. That is why I stand here as an honorable member of the defense unit that we have with the Biafrans, and I want to salute the chairman of the Biafran defense government in exile, because he's a chairman of that our group, and he's doing a marvelous job. And I cannot go without giving his salute. We will make sure that, as you have declared yesterday, that the movement of people from both regions will be as free as anything called free can be. Because I bet you the human psychology is very funny, that Amazonia is under attack today and they are running to Biafra for safety. As you declared yesterday, don't be surprised that Biafrans will be running again to Amazonia for safety. There will be that crisscrossing. And what we cannot afford to do is to create a vacuum on that border stretch. Because when you create a vacuum, enemies take it over. Rooks take it over. Thieves take it over, and you'll be hearing kidnapping and all of those things. Your minister and myself were working very hard to make sure that there is a strong border patrol in that area. What is happening here today in Finland and what happened also in Norway is a very big conspiracy that entangled economy. And I will tell you that Finland is not to be blamed as much, but the nation you should be pointing a great finger to is that nation called France. Some of you think it is Britain. France is the coronavirus of Africa. France's economy that comes from Nigeria is more than that of Britain. France have a lot of economic interest in Nigeria more than Britain. Yeah, oil, you might think that it is Britain. I tell you it is France out of research. Total is France, Mobil is France, and the only thing that is Britain is BP. Shell is also from there. And that is why they are afraid that we are going to shake that thing that they signed with those forefathers in the years ago, that they are ripping everything from Africa. They are afraid that if Amazonia succeeds today, they're no more ripping the oil that they are ripping from Amazonia. France is one of the highest controller or exploiter of timber in Europe, but they don't own a single tree. It comes from Amazonia. That is why they came out to make sure that Dr. Cho Lucas is arrested. Even till today, they don't know what to charge him with. How can you arrest somebody before looking for? They claim every day that they are a human rights organ, the European Union, they are human rights organ. They want to fool you. They are economic organs. This new generation, this Simon generation, this Ayabacho generation is a no-nonsense generation. It's a no-nonsense generation, and that will not happen. So their charade will end soon, and they will call them Your Excellencies. So in economy, we've been working hard also to make sure that we bring our economies together and build a sustainable economy that can be an example in Africa. And the way to do this, we have also done in what we have started in Amazonia, is to start from the nursery. Because the pollution that they gave some of us and the type of education that they gave some of us cannot bring forth any economic progress. You cannot see somebody, a doctorate, defending a PhD, and his thesis or whatsoever is, how do they give New Year wishes to the president of Cameroon? It happened a few days ago. That is a doctorate degree. And people will sit there to supervise it. Who discovered the zero to India? If people were not living there before. These are the type of educations they gave us. Fishing in Norway and all whatnot. That cannot put food on the table. So we have created our own curriculum that we are teaching our children now in our schools that are run by us, that are scientific and technologically driven. Because that is the future. Because what they implanted on us is only how to memorize things and not create any. When they create something, they send it for us to memorize. We want to make sure that our children are able to create things. So you should start looking at your own curriculum and choose whatever that you think that will be good for your people. Not everything that comes from the West is good. In communication, the ASEAN, the Amazonian Communication Network, is working and doing fine. We also shared some ideas with the Biafran communication team, and that is strength. That is the unity we are talking about. As you have declared your independence yesterday, be sure and be aware that you have commissioned men and women to hold materials and defend that land for you. It is easy to shout, of course, but let me tell you, it's not a walk in the park. I am saying this because when it comes to economy and population, Biafra is our big brother. But when it comes to the defense of homeland, we are your big brothers. We have been fighting for more than 8 years, and I tell you, it's not easy. Your worst enemies will not be Nigerians. They will be Biafrans. We would have defeated Cameroon long ago because those guys, they are fighting for salary and we are fighting for our lives. That's the difference. We would have defeated them long ago if not because some of our people could not listen. They thought that, no, it's not time for gun. Not time for gun. We will march in the UN, march in Europe, marches and UN will come in. That is what they told us. I went to the bush and I started training my soldiers. The same people formed what they called an IG and started marching. When it didn't work, they came and started calling me, oh, come and work for us. You're working for an individual. Don't work for you come and work for the government. We'll be paying you 500,000 francs CFA. I said, you think that this is all about money? It's not about money. Some of you will be called by internal fouls, trying to sabotage His Excellency, the Prime Minister. Let me tell you, the worst enemy will be your own people. But as you are marching forward, in a war front, if you are fighting with me, I need to be seen, but you are hindhead, because we are marching and going. The moment I start seeing your score, you are an enemy. I'm putting you down. I am talking out of experience. Do not see an enemy looking at you because they are enjoying the crumbs from the master's table, and you start saying, no, that is Obi Nana. How can you kill? Put him down. put him down and march. And I tell you, some people who are clapping here today and are enjoying today, when this thing goes further, you might not see them. They will start dropping one after the other. So be prepared. You're coming here because of somebody. When that person drops, you'll be forced to drop. Be convinced of what you are doing. But there are three things that we need to do to claim it. The first thing will be that we should be aware that this thing is not going to stop in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 4 weeks. Be prepared for 50 years. If it comes in 2 days, fine and good. But if you are prepared for 2 days and you see that it is 3 days, you will give up. That is why you see some of us are still standing strong, because we were prepared psychologically. So there are three things you have to do to make sure that you have this. Because your freedom is already on the floor, it is left for you to bend down and pick it up. So these three things are that you have commissioned men and women to war. If any individual can tell you that he or she can clearly define war, that will be a lie. There is no clear-cut definition. So there will be chaos. And in the midst of that chaos, make sure that you will supply the materials these fine boys and girls need to defend you. This will entail finance. This will entail finance. I'm talking out of experience. Cameroon is still in our land today because we are suffering with shishi. So I'm here to tell you so that you should be prepared. The independence of Biafra is the independence of Amazonia. And that of Amazonia is that of Biafra. So be prepared. So the first thing you should do is raise more money to supply these boys and girls you have commissioned. The second thing, and very important, is raise more money to supply these boys and girls you have commissioned. The final thing, and very, very important, you must do, raise more money to supply these boys and girls you have commissioned. I can talk to you tomorrow. Okay. To defend that land, that God-given land that is yours, you should know that you are on your own. Do not depend on the so-called international community, because they will put you on top of the tree and remove the ladder. It will be surprising to you that this same Norway that arrested Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, the United Nations, on the 19th of April, 1961. They voted for the independence of Amazonia. The United Nations voted for the independence of Amazonia. The chairman was Edmund L. Kennedy of Ireland, and the reporter was Adam Pachachi of Iraq. UN fourth session. When Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba was arrested, and I went to the Kripos, that is the special branch of the FBI of Norway. I went there and I knocked the door. They opened the door and I told them that I am Sheikh Kaviwo Melim, an Amazonian, and I hear that they are keeping a great human rights activist who is my president here. They were surprised. When the big lady from Kripos came out, I told her, I said, you're keeping somebody here, and the crimes that you are accusing that person for, I have also committed them. If you look at the videos, you hear me telling her that I am as guilty as Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba. If defending yourself is a crime, take me in. If defending yourself is a crime, take me in. And I asked her, I said, look, Norway fought for her independence. And let me tell you most solemnly, my lady, the crimes you are accusing my leader of committing are not 1/3 of what Norway did when they were fighting for their independence. Show me a country that fought for her independence and somebody did not die. Show me one. Norway had to kill internal enablers. Norwegians who were supporting the oppressor, Norway killed them all of them. They didn't take them to court or anything, they killed them. And today they are shouting, human right, human right, human right. Hypocrites. When the Rwandan genocide happened, these fine men, they are not fine men anyway, these men in suits got into a house called UN and they said, never again shall it happen. Is it not happening in Amazonia? Is it not happening in Biafra? Where are they? Where are they? They shouted, never again shall it happen. They also wrote in a document, preventive diplomacy must be put in play. It ended on that paper. Where is the preventive diplomacy? They keep on allowing old men as presidents, covering dictators, and everything is okay because the present economy, they enjoy it. They don't care about human rights. So we should be very careful. Don't depend on any organization. If they come in, when they come in towns to our lobby group, when they come in, we will receive them, we will accept them, and we'll be happy. But don't depend on them now. Keep walking. They'll meet you somewhere. Because he who is fighting must be ready to give some punches before he got some support. You will not imagine that the so-called African Union is not left out. That's a toothless bulldog. There's nothing like African Union. Those are people put in place to calm down people like us who are thinking differently. They are stooges. This is South Africa. Some of us who were born in the 70s contributed money to help fight apartheid in South Africa. This same South Africa, there is genocide going on in Biafra land. There is genocide going on in South Africa, in Amazonia. But South Africa see the genocide in Palestine. They don't see the genocide in Africa. What is wrong with black man? They are taking Netanyahu to court when Pobia is sitting there. When you know that you are on your own, you are better prepared. And you cannot prepare without ego. Ego, ego, ego. So please, we have seen that injustice is now the law. So resistance must be your duty. So as you leave this hall tonight, leave this hall like Jehovah's Witnesses. Leave this hall like Olumba delegates. Preach the gospel of Biafra, and that gospel now is the finance to put everything in play like you have been doing. So please get the money. Let me not talk too long, it's just 15 minutes. Thank you so much.
Don't be sad,